Recording in progress. Hi Tess, how you doing?
Hi, Kat. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Uh, Exhausted.
Yes.
So I thought it'd be a good idea that we had a bit of a recap of this year. It's gone
Yep.
really fast. It's been really
Super.
full. And have
Yep.
a look at what have we done this year, what are we doing now, what are we going to do in the new year.
Yep.
Um, okay, so maybe you just have a look at what we're doing in the past.
Yes. Good idea.
I've got to say, if I had to say something overall from this year, is that really it's been an eye-opener how much Australia is just following a set agenda from UN, UNESCO, WEF, and her.
Yep.
That's it,
It,
right down at the local level. Everything is really ticking the boxes for. I know this sounds like conspiracy theory, but really we can just go down to the
yeah.
documents,
Yep.
just from the councils, from the Department of Education, from every state. We
Yeah.
just point you to a document, we can point you to the laws, we can point you to the changes. This
Yeah.
is this is just
It's just really ramping up and nothing's working properly anymore. It's insane how in the last couple of years, it's just everything's, yeah, it's got a spanner in the works kind
yeah,
of thing,
it's
and
an
it's just getting
industry like
worse.
they bring in a programs like respectful relations. So we're seeing that child on child sex abuse has
Yeah.
doubled, that violence in schools has
Yeah.
doubled.
Yeah.
We're having break-ins, we're having more and more problems with youth violence and all the rest of it. All these
Yeah.
brand ideas are just making things worse.
Yes.
So if we have
Yeah.
a look at some of the things that we achieved, I noticed we did a lot on Substack and newsletters this year,
Yes.
which I'm
Yep.
pleased about. It's starting to come along. We spent a lot of time on fighting bills that came in, like the Equality Bill, which is just so freaking evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's the New South Wales Equality Bill, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had your self-ID bills
Yeah.
in WA, and we had bills
Yes.
in other parts of the Victoria and Australia as well, all really on the same kind of themes. All the
Yes.
bills, as usual, pushing the gender identity agenda that you can find on Wikipedia for the ILGA organisations.
Yes.
So I suppose really, yeah, noticing all that is just that was what we actually set up a site called bill-breakdown.com. And particularly Minerva, we can't say her name in case, she's unemployable and all the rest of it,
Yes.
but a young lawyer. And we broke down really complex bills so not just the general public could understand it, but more importantly, the MPs could understand what was going on.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
found lies school law, we found corruption school law, ACON and Equality Australia, just despicable.
Yeah. They're evil.
They are evil. Okay. We all the kind of subgroups that I had on the site, like Lost Women's Rights, which was focusing on the examples of self-ID violations and the harm to women and no conflict, they said,
Mm.
which was about the testimonies. And we pulled it underneath the umbrella because we're always referencing them anyway. So we made that part
Yeah.
of active watchful waiting. We did waivers for detransitioners for psychiatrists and psychologists to
Yeah.
use. We did
We
letters.
we should let people know why we did that. So we do get in contact with detransitioners, and we're finding that particularly in certain states, they have hassles getting some real help that they need, because psychologists and psychiatrists and even GPs and stuff are too scared to see them in case they think they're being trapped. I mean, we know that there's actual trans activists going around and phoning psychologist offices and psychiatrist offices, asking them for opinions and things with the guys to trap them into maybe getting them into trouble for conversion therapy and stuff. So
Well,
we thought that a way of
was
protecting the psychologists and being able to help the detransitioners was to do a waiver, almost like an act of goodwill, to say to the treating doctor, the treating medical specialist, that this person genuinely needed help and that they were coming for detransitioning help so that they wouldn't be able to be done for, or hopefully not be done for conversion therapy.
Well, to be honest, Gillian Spencer asked me to,
Yeah,
and there was a
yeah,
reason. That's a reason. So we did it.
yeah,
Passed it on to psychiatrists to get an okay with, which got a tick for, and passed it on to lawyers to check. So it's basically informed consent form,
yeah,
which are really important, particularly if you're in the state of Victoria, something like that. We did opt-out letters. There was some opt-out. We kind of joined up with an organisation called Parental Rights Australia. They had done a report with the Department of Education, New South Wales, that they could have the kids get out of the trans ideology, etc., on religious basis, and they wrote religious reasons from an Islam point of view. And what I did is I did it from both a Christian point of view, a Jewish point of view, and also tied that in with the rationale, the reasons, the actual evidence. So it was evidence-based and reason, evidence-based, spiritual evidence-based and reason. For that, there was quite a lot of work. We did a lot of letters. We did letters for GPs to go out. We did lots of letters for MPs. We talked, emailed, talked to every GP down here in New South Wales and a lot of MPs in Victoria, etc.
Yeah.
We got asked to do a lot of stuff. Did research for Maura Deeming's case. It was about 3 weeks worth of 7 days, like 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours a day, which was, I kind of was proud of that because I used a lot of tech. I made scripts that put things into a PDF form, and then I extracted all the data from it. I did a combination of transcribing using ChatGPTs and API interfaces to Google Speech and stuff like that. So I was feeling pretty damn cool to translate that, because otherwise it's too expensive if you kind of run it through whatever tools that they've got. Commercially speaking, it's too expensive. It was like 146 videos.
Wow.
It was like, I'm a bit anal, I think, because I had to go through every single one and check it.
Yeah.
Then also there was bad things that John Passato had said about Helen Joyce and Jennifer Billick, and of course Helen, Posey Parker,
Kelly J. King,
King, and Angie Jones, and etc. And I left Maura to last. Once her case had been won, really the judge did the best work. I just summarized him. He was brilliant. He was a funny fellow. I really liked him. I think he got peaked. Don't
yeah,
you?
that's good. Yeah, I do. I think that whole case has piqued a whole heap of people, actually.
Then I did a lot of work for Tribunal Tweets, which is kind of like a UK group that has kind of like amateur journalists in the court, and we tweet out what's going on. I did that for Tickle and Giggle, and then did reports and summaries at the end of the day. And also did the same for LAG, which was interesting. Bang. Did a lot of updating on AWW, etc. Did a lot of work on respectful relations, and then PDHPE and all the other groups, and so-called, and really the Safe Schools programs, their rewrites and something else. Explored a lot of entered into a lot of groups that run these programs to find out what they were on about and who they were.
Yeah.
And again, all of it came down to UNESCO. There's templates ready from UNESCO, who and with, and they just localize it for the country.
That's people just think that this is all conspiracy, but it is. And it's in black and white. Anyone can look it up. It doesn't even take a lot of research to be able to do it. It's all there.
On top of that, the usual, you're handling the parents with kids threatened to be transitioned or taken from states. I started doing a lot of work with parents on schools. I had to bring in police to one school to stop a little boy who thought he was a girl running around asking people to cut his throat, in the school not doing anything about it. Another school where they had innumerable anti-bullying programs, but nearly had these girls bullied 2 terms a kid who they could have killed because he had hydrocephalus and he had a shunt in his brain, and if you knocked it badly, then you could kill him. They didn't take that seriously until I went and saw them with the parents, and suddenly they're very interested in doing something about it. It's quite shocking. So there was a number of stuff that was really interesting, going to the schools and seeing just how very touchy they are about parents finding out knowing what it is that they're doing in the schools. Very offensive.
There's a lot of secrecy, within a school environment. And that's why once upon a time, they would have wanted parents to go and help and stuff in
Yeah.
schools.
Yeah.
These days, most schools don't want the parents around to help with anything because they're too scared of being caught out with what they're doing.
I know we had a parent. It was really funny. She had a parent, and her 9-year-old daughter went into the library. She pulled out two books. She brought them
Yeah.
to teacher and said, "These are very dirty books."
Good on her.
And she went home and told her mum and said, "There's dirty books in the library. This is the two books went." And so that she went to see the principal, and he had the two books in hand. He said, "I want to see those two books." "Oh, here they are." "No, Ken, I want to see them. I want to open them, see what they're about." "Oh, it's all right. It's fine." Didn't want to give her the books at all. Wouldn't give
Yeah.
her the books at all.
Yeah.
You know, now she's going through a situation. They want to expel her daughter because she's been asking too many questions about the bad
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
So there's codes of conduct. So I've been starting to look at codes of conducts from different schools and noticing that if you speak about anything in the school that they don't want you to talk about, you could have your kid expelled.
Yes.
How's that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's been around for quite some time now. Yeah.
Wow.
The schools, all especially the private schools and stuff, lawyer up quite quickly and to stop anything bad coming out from what they're doing.
Yeah, and I learnt too, like there's thousands of cases brought against the Department of Education's per state
Mm,
around sexual abuse, and particularly you would think they would want transparency. No,
no.
no, no, no. You were doing a lot of work visiting many groups. You're more
Yeah.
a social person. I'm not. I don't think I like people.
Yes, my social life has definitely become going out to different groups and talking to different people, particularly recently, the last sort of 18 months with the Liberal Party here in WA. They're doing some really great things. We've managed to talk, one-on-one to a lot of the politicians and the upcoming candidates, which I think is important. We've got elections here on 8th of March. And so, talking to the candidates and actually getting involved. No political party is perfect, but given the option, I mean, we've tried to speak to like Labor and Greens, obviously, they're just so, embedded. This is so embedded in their policies, you can't. But, Labor Party here in WA absolutely just condemn. I mean, there was Sophia Mormont, who's an independent MP now, shared a clip of the Labor WA Labor Party on Twitter this week. And
Did
I mean,
she
they just
did she used to be a Labor member?
no, she was actually in the Cannabis Party, but
Yeah,
she was brave enough to speak up at the Let Women Speak rally in WA,
yeah.
and the Cannabis Party didn't like that, and so eventually kicked her out of the party. So she became an independent now. I mean, that seems really ironic to me that a party that exists because supposedly they're anti-big pharma,
Yeah.
um, other than her at the time, we're all quite happy to, get kids, chemically castrated and get them onto the path of transitioning. Yeah, and that seems to be Australia-wide. I mean, even the head of the Cannabis Party here in Perth, I mean, you can check on the Hansards and stuff. His comments were just absolutely vile about anyone that was trying to stop their kids transitioning and stuff. It was just, yeah, amazing that another medical doctor could be so ignorant about the harms.
We actually did a information pack for MPs too. I remember doing.
Yes, yeah, we did. We sent them out to sort of everyone, so that's been well received. I've had feedback from the WA politicians, and that was quite well received. Um,
Oh, I
yeah,
just
we
thought of something that was well received. We customized the sex and gender and independent sex and gender guidelines for New Zealand.
yes,
Did the base for it, and then Fern Higginson from Resist Gendered Education over there tweaked it.
yeah,
And then it was influential on changing the RSE policies over there. So I'm really pleased with
yeah,
it. And,
yeah,
and we're looking to work together early in the new year on a change of curricula for New Zealand. And
yes.
two professors gave their approval on it.
Beautiful. I think that's the thing too that people don't realize. All our work that we do, we get professionals to check it before
Yeah,
we put it out so that we know it's correct.
yeah.
And everything that we put out, although people, often think conspiracy theory and stuff, I mean, we put in the links of
I don't think
everything.
we don't really get that much at all from conspiracy
Mm.
because look, we can say, okay, what do you think is off here? Go and look on the
Yeah,
government page here. Here's a link.
yeah,
I'm a bit
yeah,
anal when it comes to it. Like
yes,
a lot of people complain to me, like I've got to have
yeah,
everything backed up with a link. But that's why,
yeah,
because I need to see if it's coming from a confirmed
yeah,
source.
yeah.
What could be more confirmed than coming out of the devil's mouth, as it were,
That's right.
you know?
Yeah, that's right.
And we have to, because I think, one thing that's this year that I've noticed most is that I don't know if I've said it already because we're having a chat before we came in, but all the big global goals, digital ID and smart cities
Mm,
and all the rest of it, they are really being enacted out on a local level, on a very small
yes.
local level in every school and every
Yeah,
council and things like that.
yeah,
And that's what's really come through most. I thought it was all like gender ideology and da 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 da. And notice it's just packaged into the Worth Agenda 2030 goals. It's not a small thing. It's
no,
a big strategic global plan put
yes,
together by some 1,000 global enterprises that make a minimum of 5 billion turnover a year.
yeah,
So it's really is tech feudal laws really
yeah,
that
yeah,
are driving this for their own purposes, and learned a lot about social impact investing, which was just crazy. Um, second thing, third thing, I guess that's been upsetting this year is just I thought there was just a couple of revenue streams made off kids, and found it was really
yeah,
six, and they're
yes, there's a lot.
quite serious,
Yeah,
and most people aren't aware of it. And I just find it's just profound. Sometimes it really gets me down. It really does. There's a
yeah,
couple of times that I just had to stop and go walking and just keep on walking until it's tired because it's sick. It's really sick. They
it
really
is.
a war against kids. There is really like let's make profit of kids. Let's make a profit of kids. Cradle to grave marketing of products that they can go on for life, like PrEP and vaccines and social impact investing. It's get lots of data on kids, find something that's wrong with them, do an intervention, or make money from the government about saving
Mm,
that kid from being a criminal so many years in the
yeah,
future, according to our data modeling, which no evidence for whatsoever.
no,
So it's like it's quite sick. It's really
yeah,
quite sick. And the fact that people are letting it happen or not bothering to find out happen really gets me down some.
yeah. The apathy from parents is what scares me because I mean, so many people just think, well, what can we do? What can we do? I mean, parents do have some power. You've got to stand up for it. You've got to make a stand and get involved and really start talking to your kids actively.
I think that's going to be our focus for this year. So one of the
Yeah,
other things we did is that we formed a coalition with a number of different parental groups.
yeah,
So I think it is true that you find that change comes from a small handful of people who just like, I'm not taking this shit.
yeah,
So working closely with Resist Gendered Education in New Zealand, Penny from Let Kids Be Kids is amazing.
yeah, yeah,
Colin
she is.
from Leave Kids Alone.
Yeah,
There's another group that's been doing a lot of work on pedophilia and the child trafficking by the state. I'd like to
yeah,
contact them and see if they'd like to hook up because I'm
yeah,
finding all those things cross over. The
yeah,
hypersexualization opens things for grooming of kids. We've
yeah,
finding, I remember a New South Wales policeman told me that most of these pedophile rings are run by children, not by adults anymore. You know,
yeah. Well, I mean, even the ABC this year, back in October, reported on the fact that in Victoria there are 6 reported cases a week of child-on-child sexual abuse for under 12s.
yeah,
6, and that's reported. I mean, do you know how hard it is to report something like that? I mean,
yeah.
I hear stories regularly from parents and stuff who are too scared to report it. They get their kids out, they get their kids, somewhere else safe, supposedly safe and things. But I mean, to have 6 reported cases a week is just incredible, and that's in one state.
Yeah, no, one of the schools, one of the parents we've been working with of a Victorian school were threatened if they told of the fact that a 9-year-old boy went into the girls'
Yeah,
toilets
yeah,
down their little girl's pants, about 5 years old, and sexually molested her.
mm,
They were going to be in trouble for
yeah,
reporting that.
yeah. Well, I've been dealing with a case too that unfortunately I can't talk about because
Yeah,
it's getting to court stage and things. But again, one of these outside organisations who come and teach the sexualised content came into a school, did their series of, respect for relationships type teaching and things, and a little 11-year-old autistic boy decided to, touch another person inappropriately. Yeah, it's just not good.
Yeah, what was scary too is I started looking into the child removal and found that we're really totally screwed.
Mm,
That worse than we know, like the laws itself
yeah,
don't support it. The laws protect people for suddenly saying, oh, look, we're going to take that child because we think there's something wrong with their well-being or
yeah,
whatever. Not just like trans activism where we're kind of used to the fact that the woke will say, some woke principal or something will say, okay, if you don't support your little girl cutting off her breasts, then you're abusive. We've kind of
yeah,
cleared that at least is something. But
yeah,
then more and more, it's just if you're not, according to our opinion, looking after the well-being of your child according to what we
yeah,
think is well-being, we can report you to protection services. And there's quite a
yeah,
report with protection services. There's a money.
yeah,
Like I looked into one of the documents, and it's like $40,000 to $800,000 a year
yeah.
that they're making per kid
Well, I
per
mean, I know,
year that they take away from
yeah,
the family. It's just a racket, a huge racket. And then if you go into the court case, let me finish this, don't jump.
yeah,
You go into a court case, there it says it's just closed shop. You're not allowed to find out what's
no,
going on and things like that. And yet that's the trouble is that all the things that are wrong are hidden from anyone to complain about or do anything about. And they, I mean,
yeah,
I don't understand that. You can hide the person's name, you can hide the parent's name, but you can
yeah,
still go through the same case and people
yeah,
should know about it so we can stop abuse. Because I looked at New South Wales, there was a guy called Shane Dowling. I sort of ordered a book of hers and I was reading through some basics. It was recommended by someone. 15 judges in New South Wales into pedophilia.
mm,
15. Someone else said to me it's gone up to about 28. That was in New South Wales alone.
mm,
Judges.
mm.
Like why are we keeping things transparent when we're allowing
Well,
it to happen?
why are judges permanently gagging court cases so that even future judges and future lawyers and future journalists can't even, can't look at it? I mean, it's ridiculous because, they're just doing what they feel. But I mean, I've heard of cases where schools have got child protection involved because parents have punished their teens by removing their mobile phones. As a punishment, you've been misbehaving. Okay, no mobile phone. And the school counselors go and report, say to the parent, if you don't give that phone back, I'm going to contact child services. And so the mother has brought another, like a dumb phone in the instance I heard of, but to give to the son and or the daughter, I can't remember now. But yeah, they've gone and complained the next day that they haven't got their, smartphone back. And then Child Protection have actually rung and said, if you don't give it back, we're getting involved. And you kind of go, what? Parents have got a complete inability to
That's kind of the
guide their
intent.
kids to everything.
That's the
Yeah,
intent.
it is.
That's the
Yeah,
intent. The intent is like I'm just going to read this because I did a Substack on it on
yeah,
child removal about how does this happen. I just focused on New South Wales. In New South Wales, the Family and Community Services FACS,
mm,
Peer Protection Service, can enlist police to remove a child from your care without a warrant. And I gave a
mm,
link to Child and Young Persons Care and Protection Act 1998 S43. And that can happen without evidence being proven in court, without giving you an opportunity to challenge
yeah,
the information.
yeah,
And the removals operate in a civil jurisdiction, not a criminal. It means that there's no beyond reasonable doubt. Like decisions are made on the balance of probabilities, and there's a whole bunch of sections.
yeah,
And the lower standard makes it easy for authorities to justify removal. And the authority can be the principal, can be the school teacher, can be anybody.
yeah.
Rules of evidence don't apply. The children's court is bound by strict evidence rules unless it decides otherwise. So it's just all, evidence that would be inadmissible in a criminal court can still be used here. Evidence. Closed courts lack transparency. All children's courts proceedings are held in closed courts, preventing public or media oversight. And this undermines the democratic principle of open justice. But it means that it hides the people that could be doing harm, like those judges that let
Yeah.
pedophiles off.
And
And
yet we know we know that trans activists are still managing to get into those closed court cases by identifying as child protection workers, signing as identifying as child protection workers. I mean, that's insane.
And it's not just that. What they've changed to is that it even goes past laws that they're. I was looking at some Eventbrite courses run by the Victorian Care Protection Services, where where they put a focus on well-being, but they don't give it a definition of what well-being is.
Yeah.
But are saying that in your opinion, if the well-being of that child is threatened, then you can take action on it.
Yeah.
And not just take action, but you can share everything you know about that kid with anyone and everyone. There's no privacy whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's worse than that. I mean, this year I'm after looking at the social impact investing, what that is. I'm not going to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do a lot of work on that. A lot of work's already been done, by the way, which I put on my Substack by a lady called Kate Mason and also Tashi Sidford and an American lady, which name escapes me at the moment, but we'll focus on it next year. But I think that's the thing that's been really got me down about this year is just people aren't putting their hand up to help. I mean, I put a request out for several places. Just give me 1 hour a month. How hard is that really? That's only 15 minutes a week. Can you give me 15 minutes a week? I got one response back. It's like, yeah, I know we're all busy, but really, given the harm that can come out of this, and it's impacting everyone, really, is it really a tough ask to ask for 1 hour a month?
Yeah.
So that gets like absolutely depressing. And particularly given all the work that we do. Yeah. Next year.
No, we haven't finished talking about our other things that we've done this year.
What was that?
Well, we managed to get a chapter published in the binary book.
That's right. And finally, you're making the news, which you should have been ages ago. I've got to say something people don't know. You've been involved in everything around this space for so long. Everyone's used you as a resource. Kira Bell case. What's that funny guy's name? Scott. What's that bloke? He's a girl. Newman.
Scott Nugent.
Nugent, sorry. Yeah.
Scott Nugent helped us a lot with different things too, though. He sent us information and things which was great. Some sort of,
Actually, so is Pitt's been very, very good as well. An organisation, really do. And our duty's been really good as well.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. So it's really, but you've been involved with all these organisations and been connections, and I haven't found anyone who doesn't know of you in the journal field that's doing work in the space, in the legal field that's doing work in the space. Everybody knows you. You've been a resource, and you haven't been able to be out there because of your at that time less than 18-year-old son, in case they took your son away.
That's it.
Now he's older, they can't. So we saw you on Sky News a week or so ago.
Yeah, it was amazing. Very surreal.
And thank you, and thank you to Binary, because I think the only organisation I've come across that's actually helped us has been Binary.
Yeah, Kiraleigh's been amazing.
She has. She's been really good, and she's had a hard time of this year.
Yeah, she has.
Took her to court because she said a man was a man. Shocking. So they can lose you thousands of dollars to make that statement.
Yeah.
Joke. It just is. So no, that she's been awesome. We did a lot of work actually educating. I knew in the past we'd spent a lot of work educating different religious groups and etc.
Yeah.
And kept them in the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Binary is the only one who's really come through and helped us in any shape or form. So really, thank you very much. It's been appreciated.
Very much.
And that's such a good tool, that book. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Okay, what else?
I think that's it for this year. Yeah. Working with different groups.
You did very well, by the way, on the Sky piece.
Thank you.
Put the link in down below. No, you did really
Thank you.
And also, though, you did a really good piece on a radio station too, which was really.
I've phoned in a few times for different talk shows and things like that.
And you don't tell me so I can record it.
I know. Well, it's just spur of the moment, and it's
I don't care.
the opportunity comes.
I don't care. It's no excuse. No damn
Yeah,
excuse at all. Just
yeah,
bloody text me.
yeah.
You know, it's no excuse.
Well,
Anyway,
it's been great. Those radio shows have put me in contact with other doctors and things that are concerned and stuff, and they've reached out since the binary book came out too, and reading my chapter and things. So it's been, I mean, 5 minutes on, on the radio seems like nothing, but it is something. So it connects with other people and stuff, and I think part of the game of this is connecting with others so that people realize that they're not alone in this, and
yeah.
it's not, they haven't got some weird abnormal thought process that, where they don't agree with this and where they're worried. I mean, the broader community is concerned about this, going to meetings with the Liberal Party and members and things, and getting up and talking, and having, like, it's been quite amazing to see, whole
I've got to
crowds of
say,
people
I've
agree.
got to say that you've had quite an influence with WA Liberals. I
Thank
remember
you.
because for a week or so there, I was having to supply this information right away, this information right away, this information
Yeah,
right away.
yeah,
Yeah, heck. What are you going
yeah,
to answer to this? Are you going to answer to that?
yeah,
Yes, yes, here, here,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. No, it's been great. And yeah, and as I said, we've got some great candidates coming up. I mean, we've got one candidate in particular is amazing. Talking to him, he'd already read the CAS review in full. You
Wow.
know, it's 378 pages. He'd looked
Yeah,
at the WPATH files and things, which
wow.
is no mean feat. I mean, it's a lot of dark, horrible stuff in the WPATH files. So, to have someone who hasn't even got a personal connection to this, who's already become, activated and understands this, I mean, it's really great.
Well, look, they might not have a personal thing, but actually they probably do, because
Yeah.
this is removing our freedom of speech. It's removing our
Yes,
rights. It's just been it's just been a thin edge of the wedge, really. So
it is.
so you ignore it at your peril.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing currently?
So we're still working on the coalition with the other groups, so that because that's in the very early days. So trying to work smarter rather than harder, because
Yeah,
yeah, we're
we'll
all sort of at
we'll
capacity.
yeah, leave kids alone. They'll be focusing on events. We have done events too. Okay.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did our first one in November, I think it was, or the end of October, one or the other.
Yeah, yeah,
Went down there and had a talk and stuff like that. That was really good. It was really good to actually speak in front of people and see their responses and stuff like that.
yes, yeah.
But but I must admit we haven't got time to do a lot of that stuff. So Coles,
Well, the
there's another one in February, and I'm probably
yeah,
Graham will be speaking at that.
yeah.
But
The other
more
the
of them.
other issue is trying to get locations, because people find out what we're going to be talking about and then they get
Oh, that's
cancelled.
right. I was asked to talk in New South Wales,
Yeah,
and unfortunately, the other side has been funded by the government. So they had a whole bunch of telemarketers call around to every club venue to say, you
yeah,
have these people here, don't, because they are
yeah,
horrible bigots and blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
So that was
yeah.
the kind of stuff. That's what they've got on their plate they can do.
Yeah. So,
Um,
I mean, if someone who's got like a venue that can hold any sort of number of people, like, get in contact with us, because I mean, that's a massive help to us.
yeah. Um, yeah. Well, with the coalition, I'll be working on the curricular stuff,
Yeah.
updating the guidelines.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at putting out a little book for kids,
Yes.
Climate Change Detectives. So I read that to you yesterday.
It's very cute. Yeah.
Yeah. And uh, more, we've got roughed out the parental program. Okay. But I'm going to connect up with Fern because she's got some really good lessons too, and we'll
Yeah.
regularly for Australia and New Zealand.
Mm.
Take a lot of pressure off Fern, and that will be also help with us. And hooked up with some few more people who are willing to help out in that. That's great, because really, I think we've got a thrust that's got to be empowering
Yeah.
parents, you
Yeah.
know. And also the fact is we've noticed that a lot of kids have been against this. Remember, there was a school in Edmonton in West Sydney that
Yeah.
had 50 kids that are just sick to the teeth of the woke,
Yeah.
you know. So we just need to empower them too about what's going on I'm also
Yeah.
talking, I mean, there's just a lot of work and we really do need more people to volunteer and help. But I know the world's best system analysis tester used by, NASA and all the rest of them. And he and I are mates. And I said, look, I'd really like to have a critical thinking course for kids. Um, and so he said, yeah, talk to me more about that because that's something I really want to do. So
Mm.
that's something we're doing in the future. Yeah, it's really is, to be honest, it's expanding the coalition, expanding people, like-minded people,
Yeah.
focusing on the parents, giving them tools, and giving them support groups,
Yeah.
giving tools to the kids, putting the picture in a way that they can get it immediately, what's going on, because they're being used as a product and a
Yeah.
commodity, and they should know about it. That kind of stuff. Um, Research, a lot of research. We seem to do a lot of research
Yeah.
and expose sick stuff, and particularly into the money making schemes.
Yeah.
And also,
We've still got a lot of curricular documents to go through. We've collected programs of since Safe Schools was broken up, back in like 2016, 2015, can't remember now. Safe Schools has never gone away. It's still all there.
yeah,
Respect for relationships is one of the courses, but there's things like Elephant Ed. There's reaching out. There's All of Me and all of the catching on early, catching on later,
yeah,
all of those things. So we've got all those documents, and we're trying to go through them to find the
yeah.
problematic
We
things
we
so
need
that
we need more. Like I'm telling you guys, we
yeah,
need we need more hands on deck. We really
yeah,
do. We're not asking for a lot. If you can give an hour a month,
mm,
that would save us a lot of time. I don't like this is a. I did take a day off. I kind of took a day off at Christmas, but the second half of the day I spent time building up an app
yeah,
on showing how so we could report bad books in the school.
yeah,
So that's how I relax by building the app. Okay. But it'd be nice to be able to feel like not guilty about taking a day off
yeah,
because there's just so much to do and there's so few people actually.
yeah,
I know I'm sounding like a whiner, but I don't care. This is really important and it's really hard to find
yeah,
people who will just give us an hour. Give us an hour a
mm,
month. Is it really that hard? An hour a month?
yeah.
Yeah.
So what else are we doing?
What else we're doing? Well, that's kind of enough, really, because
Yeah,
to be honest, we've got the lay of the ground really laid down. I'm
yeah,
still tweaking the websites
yeah,
because we've got a business card and sticker campaign for
yeah,
a campaign.
yeah.
Just finishing a couple pages on queer theory. I think it's just queer theory I've got left to do. Social impact and stuff. I'll probably put that up as well. And then got little business cards ready to be printed out. Probably what I do to make it easy for everyone, I just put the cards on Redbubble because that way
Yeah.
they come packaged up, and that I think is the easiest way of doing it. Because I don't
So
imagine that they'd print things out, go to Officeworks, and they won't.
no.
So we just make
S-
it
s-
simple for them, and then go to Redbubble and get the box of it, and they can start putting stickers onto poles, or they can just
tuck them
business
tuck them into
cards.
books, into libraries, and ask people to hand them out in their businesses and things like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I've got some cafes said, "Hey, you got those cards. You just put them out here. You put them there. We will share them with you." So
That's
yeah.
nice.
So and
Yeah,
it's good. So when you're having a conversation with someone on the bus or a stranger, things like that, well, have a look at this. Go
yeah,
and have a look at this. So that's another thing that we're doing. So before end of January, I just want to have the app up.
yeah.
So have our own app, which will be reporting on bad books in the school libraries.
Well,
And
any library
library,
really.
yeah, any
Yeah,
library, bad book app, or the business card flyers done. Report to the Catholic Church about what's going on because Catholic Church schools are no longer run by the Catholic Church. They got corporatized against their will. A report on some case study schools, and also protecting a couple of parents who they're threatening to expel their kids. What else before the end of the month? Oh yeah, some more talk and
mm,
collaboration with the coalition partners.
yeah.
And again, tidying up the websites and doing some stabs, some newsletter articles and stuff like that. That's
And
that's
of course, heading towards charity status too is our next big
yes.
project.
that's actually the key project.
Yeah.
It's charity. We need a charity status. We need funds to pay our bills. Um, you know,
Yeah.
it's that's really what we need. The biggest thing we need.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so.
It's going to be a big year. It was a tough year again last year. We did achieve a lot. We
We
really did.
have.
We're certainly used by a resource by everybody. Um, I know. And this year, I think is particularly important because I think people are becoming aware about how much UNESCO, UN, WEF, and WHO are influencing Australia.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and the focus has been on the corruption of children and removing family from children, really. Separation of family
Yeah.
is the goal of the globalists, and that has been acted out by Labor.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see when Trump gets in. I mean, he's already made this statement a couple of days ago that he's going to defund the WHO altogether, which will be
Yeah, that'll be
amazing.
great. That'll be
Um,
great.
we've
I'm
got
I'm
the,
really worried for him because I really think they'll have to have another go at
yeah,
try another go at killing him.
yeah,
Probably try to take out the rest of the whole thing because he's got
yeah,
such. If he was taken out, that Vance is still a good person. Like he's really
yes,
training him to step up.
yeah,
A brilliant guy, and then
yeah.
you've got such brilliance.
And and then Kennedy is good too, so he's
Yeah.
good on a lot of this stuff as well. So yeah,
So yeah. So you've got. I heard with Kennedy that everyone is quitting really quick.
amazing. Yeah,
They're really cleaning out the swamp, hey?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Which is it's so refreshing after so much time
I
of,
must admit, you know what? That was the best news of this year. I would never
yeah,
thought I'd say
definitely.
that because I remember the year before, I was thinking, "Oh, this Trump sounds like back in 2016. I thought this Trump sounds like a complete bigot and this and that."
Yeah,
I believed everything they told until you
yeah,
start watching everything and you go, "No, don't think that they think they're lying."
yeah,
And finally, they really do. They really are lying,
yeah.
and they don't care.
Yes, and we've got high hopes too for yeah, the WA elections if we can get Liberals in. Libby Mettam is the WA Liberal Party leader, so she's the opposition leader, and she's made a strong stand against banning puberty blockers for under 16s, and also calling for an independent inquiry into the gender affirming care in WA. I mean, it's only a state level, but it's a big start.
Yeah,
So
given every other country has come down and said, "No,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
unacceptable risk."
yeah.
We're sort of holding on with our teeth, aren't we?
Well, I think we're actually
We need to
going the
take the
opposite.
money. We need to take the money out of people like
Yeah,
the Australian ACOM. And
yeah,
that money needs to go.
yeah, yeah,
That all that money. You go down to the office. There's hardly anybody there, but they've been paid that much. What to make graphics?
yeah,
To make a couple of website pages? To make
yeah,
documents? It's just a joke. Anyway.
yeah.
So yeah, this year is going to be another hardworking year.
So yeah, if you want to get on board and give us a hand, or donate to help pay for the websites and things like that, would be amazing.
Yeah, it's not just that. We still got a couple of sex and gender guidelines that need to be
Yes,
approved by lawyers, and that costs. I mean, it's expensive.
thousands,
Like it's $500
thousands.
an hour. We've got
Yeah,
we've got someone who can do it, and the cheapest they can do is $8,000 a book.
yeah,
It's way past what we can afford. I mean, I can
yeah,
take it out of my superannuation, but that means I've got nothing to live on soon.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff. So I mean, we had a really good success rate with the ones that were sent out to
97%.
WA. Yeah,
And that was the same for Tasmania. Had a
yeah,
lot of good stuff for New Zealand. And we're getting that we're getting asked from the other states for it too. But
yeah,
we need the money to get this
yeah,
approved.
yeah.
Yep. All righty.
All right. Thanks for coming along and listening to us. And yeah, all the best for 2025, everyone.
Yeah, get angry. Get
Yeah.
angry, get informed, get empowered,
Be
care a lot about your kids, care about
be
kids.
be courageous, because
Yeah,
everyone needs to be courageous. It's not, little baby steps, and you'll find that people around you are taking little baby steps too, and the movement is growing. So yeah, be
it is growing.
courageous.
Actually, that's the most positive thing. It is growing. Where
Yeah,
people are
very
becoming
much.
aware. People
Yep.
it's turning the corner in UK with the children, and
Yep.
people becoming aware of just how much the government is trying to stop you speaking and trying to hide
Yep.
what you're doing. It's hard to hide it now. It's
Yep.
coming out. So be part of the resistance,
Yes.
because we are on the right side of history, absolutely on the right side of history, because we're fighting for kids, we're fighting for freedom, we're fighting for the right to grow,
We're fighting for families.
particularly families, because that's what they want to destroy the most is to have
Yep.
the state be your mother, the state be your father. Don't let them. These are
Yep.
rich, rich, rich bastards who are
Yep.
cocky and arrogant and narcissistic and psychopathic, and they do not care. They want power. They've got all the
Yep.
money. They want all the power. Don't give it.
Yep.
Yeah?
All right. All right.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you very much. See
Thank
you,
you, mate.
Kat.
See ya.
Bye.